This is episode 91 of Casting 495 Celebrities Worldwide. We're going to talk about the dumbing down of America and the lack of mathematics skills in the United States, educational American system of education, grades K through 12, high school, that would be K through 12, secondary school, post-secondary school, college undergraduate level, graduate level, just in general, man. Like, I have a buddy, he graduated from college, right? And I was one of his peer editors. So when we were in college together, he was an international student and he had a language barrier. And so I would look over his papers for him in terms of his English grammar and whatnot. And he would ask me for assistance and help with regard to understanding grammar, syntax, English. And so he ultimately got his bachelor's degree in international relations. He had been in a global affairs program, and then he transferred over into international relations. And so the thing about America and the system now, in terms of how it's different in contrast to how it used to be, the system of education right now in America is fucking crazy. And I'll give you one example of how it's fucking crazy. Now, I could describe it as being, without using any kind of profanity or obscenity, I could say, oh, it's terrible, or it's awful, or it's atrocious. I could use any of these different terms or words in English or some other language. And, you know, that would just be like, oh, okay, yeah, man, there's a problem, okay? No, it's more than just it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. And let me explain to you, let me share with you, let me demonstrate, allow me to demonstrate here for the audience. By the way, I hope that you're having a blessed day, or evening, or morning, or night, wherever you are in the world, and I do truly, sincerely mean that. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's your first time or you've tuned in before. So, I read this study where analysts, observers, actuarial scientists, mathematicians, scientists figured out that in America, students in junior high school and high school will learn whatever it is that they learn during the process whereby they learn whatever they learn during an entire school year. They'll learn that information, and then when the summer comes, when the summertime rolls out and it's summer break, everything that students learn during junior high school, years of 6th, 7th, 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, whatever they learned in a year, when the fucking summer time is on in Bracken, the beginning of summer, within like the first week, within the first week of summer break, they've forgotten 70% of what they learned in the whole fucking school year. 70%, dude, gone. Because, dude, it was never long-term memory. It was never LTM, Lima, Tango, Michael. No, it wasn't. It was STM, Sierra, Tango, Michael, the whole year. It's like going in one ear, out the other. Whatever students are being taught, whatever they're learning, whatever they're being inculcated with, whatever studies they are undergoing, in the entire year of fucking time. So, remember Interstellar? Have you ever seen the movie Interstellar? Okay, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie Interstellar. They go to this planet in this parallel universe of Earth. And so they're in the Milky Way galaxy, but it's a different Milky Way galaxy. And when they're in that other parallel universe on one of the planets that they go to, for every hour that you're on that planet, for every hour, like if you're on that fucking planet for 1 hour, when you go back to your ship, dude, 20 years or some shit like that have gone by. So you can't be on that planet for an hour. Because if you are on the planet for an hour, when you fucking go back to your ship, it's the equivalent of something like 2 decades of time. But from your observational vantage viewpoint, it was only an hour. But it wasn't really an hour. It was 23 fucking years. Okay? So, a student on planet Earth, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, right? Grades. For every year of study, if they're not focused, if the information, the data do not go into their long-term memory, if they're just fucking around in the classroom, if for some sad, tragic reason they're not getting it and it's not being absorbed and they're not using it and they're not understanding it, and therefore it's not being fixed in memory long-term, if it's not indelible, meaning that it's ephemeral, okay, it's temporary. If it doesn't become an indelible fixed memory, like a holographic data storage cube, if it isn't there, if it doesn't imprint, they're not really learning anything. Well, they're kind of sort of learning a fragment, like a pixel fractal of the shit. They're not really learning anything, dude, in an entire year. It's almost like they're just out of babysitters. That's all it is. They're out of babysitters. Because when it's summer break, everything they were taught, everything that was conveyed to them by the teacher, the instructor, over the year, it's fucking gone. It evaporates within a week, within 1 week. So what's the point, man, of going to fucking school currently in the U.S. American educational system, K through 12, right? What's the fucking point in the context of what it is that I'm sharing with you? So the system has to be modified. It has to be overhauled. It has to be updated and upgraded. I don't even want to use the word change. There's just such a negative connotation with regard to that after fucking Obama's absolutely failed administration. The system has to be made better than it is currently. And so when going back and looking at this information as I've presented it to you again, if teachers, educators are instructing students only to then, after 1 year has elapsed, has transpired, has gone by, those students just fucking forget everything, mostly 70 fucking % of it or more, depending on the student, could be more. And yes, in math, there may be some students who retain some more information than other students, but largely, chiefly, mostly, and I say these things for emphasis. I say these things emphatically. This is fucking dire, and it's important, and no, I'm not an alarmist. From this data set of vocabulary, it should be clear to you. A student is in a classroom for a year, for a whole fucking year, school year. And then within 1 week, all that information dissipates and is gone. Just zip. It's no longer existent. 70% of it, in other words, most of it. Dude, that's very fucking disparaging. That is very fucking disparaging. So, one of the things, man, that we learned in college and at the university is that Wikipedia is a non-scholarly source of information. It's a non-scholarly source of information. It is a non-scholarly source of information. Anyone can fucking edit Wikipedia. Anyone can go into Wikipedia and change history, and then if you happen upon the information, if someone happens upon the information, let's say not you, but let's say it's someone who doesn't understand higher education, doesn't understand the system, doesn't understand how things in the world work. Wholly, like not entirely, right? I mean, who fucking does? Life is a constant, lifelong, ongoing, perpetual learning process. One can be learning indefinitely, right? So let's say someone doesn't understand that Wikipedia is bullshit a lot of times, and that there's a lot of fallacious, made up, apocryphal information. And so that person just takes Wikipedia at face value and believes what they fucking read, right? So what you have are kids who maybe they don't understand something in the classroom. So then they've got to go and look it up on the web, and they don't understand scholarly versus non-scholarly sources of information. Some people will just believe what anyone on the fucking internet tells them. Oh yeah, hey, you studying pre-calculus? Or you studying calculus? You studying ordinary differential equations, ODE? You're doing differential equations? Huh, okay. Well, here, I can help you out. I got some answers because I know a couple of maths and such. Yeah. So what were you trying to figure out, right? Dude. Okay, so let's say that person purporting to know answers to mathematics doesn't know what the fuck he or she's talking about either, right? And let's say the student seeking knowledge, searching for answers to questions is like, well, thanks for your help, but I mean, you're really honestly no better than my teacher. So I'm gonna have to go. I can't listen to your bullshit anymore because you don't seem to understand my question and I don't really understand your answer. So fuck off. So then they go to Wikipedia. All right, check this out, dude. This is what I found in Wikipedia today. It says here, dude, in Wikipedia, it says bijection, injection, and surjection. Bijection, injection, and surjection. I said bijection, injection, and surjection. A function is bijective if it is both injective and surjective. A bijective function is a bijection. A function is bijective if and only if every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument. This equivalent condition is formally expressed as follows. Okay, now, if you're not familiar with these maths, these mathematics, this math concept, and you're listening to me and you understand my speech patterns and you understand my vocabulary and you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, but you don't know what this math is, okay? We're talking about bijection, injection, and surjection. So let's say you're a student that happens to do some math, and then in your classroom, they're like, right, so now we need for you to understand bijection, injection, and surjection. You're like, I don't really get it, but I'm going to go home and work on some homework. So you go home and you work on some homework, and then this is what it says. A function is bijective if it is both injective and surjective. A bijective function is a bijection. A function is bijective if and only if every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument. So again, this is from Wikipedia. I am citing Wikipedia, and listen very carefully to what I am trying to explain to you, share with you, impart, and convey to you, transmit and disseminate to you in terms of why the system of mathematics, understanding education in the United States is fucking stupid at this point. This is what Wikipedia says. A function is bijective if it is both injective and surjective. A bijective function is a bijection. A function is bijective if and only if every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument. Okay, first of all, if every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument, that just sounds faulty and weird, even if it's logical and true. Okay? If and only if every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument. I get it, and I knew what it meant. You have one construct of data, right? We'll say a sphere or a dot, okay? A pixel. You've got one dot, and then it says that this other data construct has to be mapped to by exactly one argument. So you're looking at functions, right? And that's what these are. These are functions. And it's saying mapped to by exactly. I would say mapped by without using the word to. I would say if every possible image is mapped by exactly one argument. But this person said, whoever wrote this, and even if this is technically grammatically correct, I wouldn't have worded it this way. This person said a function is bijective if and only if every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument. Prepositions, to something, by something. Why are you going to put two prepositions like mapped to by? Mapped to by? Okay, whatever. It works. Who's to say that that's grammatically incorrect? Nonetheless, the beginning of this, think about this, and I'm not saying that it's incorrect, and I'm not saying that it's illogical, and I'm not saying that it's not true. A function is bijective if it is both injective and surjective. A bijective function is a bijection. A function is bijective if and only if every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument. This equivalent condition is formally expressed as follow. Isn't it supposed to say this equivalent condition is formally expressed This equivalent condition is formally expressed as follows. With an S. With an S. Because we're talking about one singular fucking thing. It's an equivalent condition. Formally expressed as follows. That's the actual fucking English on that. But this doesn't say that. So that part is English error. Okay? Erroneous. It is an English error. It is an English grammatical error. And it is grammatically incorrect according to fucking the Queen's English. And I'm not saying I'm the Queen. I'm saying according to goddamn motherfucking actual factual English. That part is not correct. So it sounds weird. And there's probably not one person who wrote this. It's probably like a zillion different people who wrote this. Okay? And it's fucking nuts. That's how we're teaching math to the youth and to adults and to anyone who's trying to learn shit with some crazy fucked upness like this. A function is bijective if we should make a rap out of it. A function is bijective if it is both injective and surjective. A bijective function is a bijection. A function is bijective if only every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument. That's fucking lunacy! Do you understand what's happening in this world of fucking supposed education? Dude, the shit is fucking bonkers. It's bonkers as all fucking get out, dude. It's nutty as fuck. It's totally insane. And that's how shit is being taught in America and around the world, because that translates into other languages and shit. Who the fuck understands that shit? Do you think, I mean, obviously there's going to be someone out there who gets it, who's like, oh, right, okay, bijection, interjection, subtraction, and perfection, and then for second, make a calculation and complexion of the next attach, pension. Dude, I get it, right? Sure. You got it because it just makes sense to you when you're, I don't know, autistic savant or something, or maybe you're just paying attention. Here's my larger point. Who the fuck in the classroom who's paying attention, dude, or rather, who in the classroom on the average, who would come across that on Wikipedia? On the average, in the average classroom in America, if she heard what I just stated, what I just said, or didn't hear what I said, didn't listen to my words, didn't listen to my voice, didn't even listen to the YouTube computer that reads shit. A bijection is a surjective injection, complexion, introspection, get your car inspection, on the dexin, wiki, perplexion, right? Perplexion. Yeah. Even if you don't hear the little wiki fucking computer or the YouTube computer and you just read the words, most people are going to be like, the average student is going to be like, huh. Nah, I'm just going to go back to my mumble rap, dude, because that, you know, you know, so that's where we are, dude. And that's why. Now, since we can put fucking robots, in other words, Terminator androids and shit like the Mars rover, because I mean, let's be honest, dude, the Mars rover, it flies in the fucking space and it's armed with lasers and shit. I mean, let's be honest, dude, NASA has that shit armed up with lasers because when, you know, there's certain artifacts and relics that are found on planetary surfaces off world and they don't want people to see it, there's a classified fucking Mars rover. You know, there's a different version of the Mars rover. Dude, you know it's armed up with lasers and shit to blow up faces on Mars and shit so that shit can no longer be seen from satellite. And then Mars is, I almost said Nars. And then NASA's like, oh yeah, no, totally, no, see what you're seeing? Like, it's, no, we could see where you would think that it was like a face and stuff, but like, could you see how like it's just really a rock formation that kind of looks like a face? Yeah. Well, you know, problem is, NASA, we saw the original image before you blew the shit up. So, and now that it's blown up and now that you've done the airbrushing and shit, now it's just a pile of rubble and it's like, well, it's not really a face and it never, yeah, it was a face. So we can put robots armed with lasers on Mars with laser robot, fucking NASA, NSA, government, CIA, space agency precision. But we can't teach kids fucking math in the classrooms? Huh, that's weird. Why not? Is it that someone wants the system to be broken? A function is bijective if it is both injective and surjective. A bijective function is a bijection. A function is bijective if and only if every possible image is mapped to by exactly one argument. This equivalent condition is formally expressed as follow. Dude, as follow? Come on, man. Don't take my word for it. Just fucking Google it, dude. So yeah, I'm your boy, One Sir Grove, man. Let's make America great again.